All right, I got Craig queued. All right. Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of XN Interviews. I'm your host, XN. Joining me as always is JX. How you doing tonight, man?
Doing good, man, and excited to have another Kabam employee on.
Absolutely, yeah. Joining us this weekend is Kabam Yolo. He's believe the manager of the live ops.
That's correct. Hello.
All right. Thanks for joining us this weekend.
Hey, thanks for having me. We've been trying to get this thing going for a while now, so I'm glad we were finally able to line it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe you joined us with Kabam Ein as well.
Yeah, I was for the most part watching and jumping into chat for that one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice. Well, it's good to finally talk to you. Jay, you want to start us off with the questions?
Yes. So first off, how did you get your Kabam name?
So that one's actually pretty funny. I started and made what I thought was the stupidest username I could in contest, which was YOLO Swaglord. And I was like, perfect. And then we were starting to talk about trying to get me onto the Kabam forums. And as we're going through that, I was like, well, what about Kabam YOLO? And Adora at the time gave me a hard no. Absolutely not. That is the stupidest name. You're not having that. And then a couple years goes by, and after a couple years, I was like, so about that forum account, still want Kabam YOLO. Can we make that happen? And she said, okay. And at that point, yeah, here we go. Kabam YOLO lives on.
Very nice. So what kind of got you into MCOC and applying for the job?
Yeah, so I was working at EA as QA on FIFA back in like 2014. And at the time, I was playing a lot of Godfather 5 Families, which was like a Kabam Facebook game that was not at all made by the Vancouver studio, but was part of Kabam. So I played that a bunch and then saw that Kabam was hiring for exactly what I was looking for. So applied, got in November 2014, just before contest launched, and then was working on Fast Legacy initially for about 6 months or so, switched over to contest and been primarily on that ever since.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So you've been with the game since pretty much the beginning, it seems like.
Oh yeah. I remember getting my very first 3-star champion and being so hyped because it was like Rocket Raccoon, who at the time was one of the main launch god tiers, I think.
Yeah, he like a
A long
truck.
time ago. Yeah, that special too was unmatched back then.
Yeah.
I remember seeing yellow numbers and just losing my mind.
Okay. So since you've been with the game, what are some things that you may have implemented that have been received well or not so well?
So the big two I keep going back to, years ago I was designing monthly events, and one of the ones that I did was the Namor's Atlantean rifts. So that was the like one rift had really low rewards to really high rewards, and the other one was more centered, and you could kind of pick which rift you wanted to go into. That was one I loved. I remember seeing a lot of complaints online, but I was still very happy with how that one turned out. Because you had the kind of like, do you want to go for the big risky rift, or do you want to just kind of get one that you average out with getting a good amount of shards, but not a crazy amount?
Yeah.
So that was probably the big monthly event one. And then feature-wise, Nexus crystals, that was my baby. I'm so happy that those finally made it in game. But yeah, Nexus crystals was originally something that I worked with our art team to figure out exactly how we display that in game and design that thing start to finish.
Very nice. Jay, you got another one over there?
Yes, I was trying to remember. That's the one with the corals. Was the Atlantean one? I remember those.
Yeah, that was the one that was like tier 1 to 4 corals,
Yeah.
and then there was stable versus unstable, I think was the names of the rifts.
Yeah, that was cool, and I like the rifts. They're very unique, and you get that risk and reward. It definitely pays off.
I always really liked them until I see someone in my alliance pull like 4 6-star awakening gems in a row.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Oh yeah. So what are so how is it with keeping in releases? What are some things that you have to work out or smooth out or not smooth out when it comes to putting those updates and releases into the game?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot to it. So for context of what Live Ops does, we don't design characters, but in terms of everything around that character coming out, so arenas, crystals, messaging, preview bundle offers, all of that is the Live Ops side. So we work really hard on kind of keeping that show going and ensuring that we have some kind of show every single month. The monthly side events, that's something we work very, very closely with the quest team on. But like right now we have the date.game one going along with any special portions of that. That's all part of live ops. So it's every single release has, I would say, some level of smoothness and some level of not so smoothness with it. And we try and err as much as we can onto the smoothness side. Sometimes there's just a little bit of tuning that you slightly missed, or you overtune something in one direction. I would say Gwenpool Goes to the Movies would be one of those where the rewards were so good for just single punches against enemies to clear them through. That's one that, like, I think people love that one, but on our side, we're like, ooh, that one's not so smooth. That one did not go the way we expected that one to.
Yeah, everyone loves that event, and everyone's like, bring it back, bring it back.
Yeah, it's like, but at its core, I think the main reason a lot of people loved it was partially for the story, but also you got a ton of rewards at the time for just punching a couple people for like 10 energy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very nice. So I had a quick question. Whose idea was the big head mode?
That was one of our, I believe that was one of our quest designers. And they realized that they were able to tweak some of those things using stat mods on our side. And as soon as they realized they could start kind of tweaking hands or tweaking feet with that, that turned into big head mode. There's a lot of characters they tried that with that didn't go from just, oh, it looks weird or it looks kind of bad to, oh, it just fully breaks in that case. So there's a lot of even weirder ones than seeing like Doctor Doom's victory pose where it's just his skull.
Okay. So how does it feel to swing the banhammer? And what's that process like?
I mean, it's fun. So there's a big process to it. It's not even just auto detection. Initially, something will get flagged, and once that thing gets flagged, we go through a manual review where we're looking at the fight log. We're seeing everything we possibly can from the number of hits thrown, the damage that they're doing, damage they're taking, what buffs are on them, what buffs are on the enemy, if they have any boosts applied, all things like that. Once we go through all those fight logs, sometimes if things are kind of on the fence, we'll replicate that fight right on our device. So we'll pull down exactly who they were using, who they were against, what masteries were on, what buffs were on, and see if that's even possible. If it's not possible, then banhammer time. We build whatever list we have from there and apply the strikes. There's also the side of if someone is live streaming. So we've had like cheaters live stream before, or mercs live stream before, things like that. That's times where we'll do live bans, or we've had people internally. I remember someone messaged me one day and said, hey, is this person cheating in Battlegrounds because they just lost a fight to them? And then we instantly pulled the person up, found out they were cheating, and banned them right away. So we have that happen quite a bit too.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fun.
Very nice. Yeah. So you mentioned going into like streams and stuff. I believe it was Lefty Knox's stream that you gave him a 6-star Groot. There was one time.
That's true. He wanted to be Groot free since '93, and I could not let that happen.
Yeah. That was pretty funny.
Yeah. Did you catch the award show? There was a little like post-credit scene of the best champion in the game.
I haven't watched it yet. I have it tagged. I watched the trailer and I got really hyped, and then I had it marked to watch once I'm able to free the time up.
Yeah, definitely give it a watch. You know, you may hear my voice in there. Who knows? It's a great
I'll check
watch.
it out.
Heck yeah. Jay got the next one over there?
Yes, sir. All right. Oh, this one's cool. So, do you have a favorite Easter egg in game that you are part of making?
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, so for anyone who knows wrestling or remembers old wrestling promos, Cream of the Crop title is probably my favorite Easter egg that I had a pretty close hand in making. That's still the title I use in game every single day. I guess the other one would be, I work really closely with our narrative designer when we're creating new progression levels, so Paragon being the last one. And he gave us a whole list of names, and all the names work thematically, and I immediately jumped on Paragon as my favorite, but that was partially because of the Epic Games Paragon. I don't know if you guys ever played that one.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so it was because of that Paragon, and I got immediately hyped. RIP, I missed that game. That game was great.
Yeah, I'm curious on what the next one will be. We've noticed like a theme, story wise, at least. So with like the MROC, the Chrono Serpent and MROC Ouroboros team. I'm really curious on what that next progression title will be called. That'll be interesting.
The next bosses are cool too. I'm not going to speak too much on them, but the next bosses look really nice.
Yeah, I'm looking so forward to it. I loved M-Rock, and to see that final cutscene, those characters transferred to this game is like, yes, finally.
I can't wait to see this this new Act 8.2 boss.
The 8.2 boss is cool. The 8.3 boss is cool. Like, I had a teaser of the 8.4 boss. Or no, it was the 8.3 boss that I saw last that I lost my mind on. It just keeps ramping. It gets better and better. That's all I'll say on that one.
Yeah, man.
Very nice.
So excited.
So what's the biggest headache that was actually simple to resolve?
I mean, it's game development. A lot of things are huge headaches, and then when you run it off of somebody else and you quickly go back and forth, you realize, oh, I just had an equal sign in the wrong spot, or a very simple solution to a lot of random ones. I'd say that the biggest headache we deal with on a day-to-day now is really just the switch to working from home. Like, historically, especially in live ops, we were very used to kind of just meerkat development, where you jump up and you start yelling a question to somebody across and someone else yells back, and then you quickly hash it out. Now it's like, oh, I need to book a meeting for somebody, or try and see if someone's free to jump on a quick call, as opposed to just being able to yell across. I think that's probably the biggest headache that is simple to resolve, where if we have in-office days where we get everyone in and we're all hanging out and able to try and replicate those old times, that definitely shifts it.
Very nice. Is there something you miss about being in the office as opposed to working from home?
The main one's honestly that it's the flybys, being able to just quickly grab somebody, and you hear somebody talking about something that interests you, you kind of jump into the discussion, and then suddenly you're having a quick back and forth, and you come out of there with some sort of new feature that you're quickly implementing, or some new version of tuning on something that was coming down the pipe.
Very nice. So it's just a lot of like ideas thrown back and forth.
Yeah, I'd prefer that to booking a meeting than trying to schedule that time to come up with ideas. When they happen naturally, I find a lot better than trying to schedule inspiration.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what can you tell us about the economy of the game and where it's at and where it's headed?
I mean, I don't know if you guys know this, but 7 stars are coming pretty soon. That's going to be a pretty big shift.
How soon?
Probably sooner than you think, I would say.
Ooh.
But 7 stars, when they're coming, that's going to come with whole new power levels for players, right? So since there's new power levels, they're going to need new challenges. Also, at that point, we have 7 rarities. So now that we have 7 rarities, someone who's just starting the game and starting with 2 stars and 3 stars, they have a long ways to go. I think the biggest place that we're going to see some economy shifts is kind of in that early to mid game. That's the main section where we try and progress people up into 5 stars, 6 stars. I don't know if anyone's watched Seaton's free-to-play run for the last little bit, but he progressed much faster than I thought was possible. So I currently have a free-to-play account going, trying to see how quickly you can go if you know what you're doing, and how slow you go if you don't know what you're doing.
He's ahead of us
so
on this free-to-play, which is crazy.
He caught up quickly, and it blew my mind seeing how fast he went. But no, I think that's where the biggest shift's going to be, is kind of in that early to mid game and getting people up to late game. Well, at the same time, end game players are going to have 7 stars. End game players are going to need something to use that power or try that power out against. So there'll be some shifts there.
Yeah, I'm also looking forward to Ascension as well, bringing those 6 stars up an extra level. That'll be sweet.
Yeah, I just hope that it doesn't turn into me just using 6-star Hercules all day, every day, when I have a whole 7-star roster sitting there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Jay, you got the next one over there?
Yeah, so actually, Hammy asked in chat, what's your favorite part of your job at Kabam?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would say in live ops, there's a lot of things that you build, and very quickly you get them live in game. And since you get them live so quickly, you're able to see feedback almost immediately. I think that's the biggest one, being able to see feedback, pivot, action on it, and come up with V2s pretty quickly. That's one thing I really love.
Nice.
Okay. You want to take another one over there, Jay?
Yeah. Okay. So obviously you touched with Arena on Arena. Is that going to be touched on in the future? And what do you personally want to see from it?
So we're having conversations about that. Actually, just yesterday, I was talking to people about Arena. 7 stars are coming. So with 7 stars coming, I'm not saying they're 7-star arenas. So let me just put a little asterisk there. I'm not saying 7-star arenas. It was a while after 6 stars came out before we had 6-star arenas. But there'll definitely be some shifts to the current arena format. For me, I want to go into arena. I want to get my milestones, and then that's about it. I don't grind for the champions in there. But right now, that time that I'm spending in arenas should probably be in battlegrounds. It should probably be anywhere other than arenas, honestly. So we're still kind of exploring different solutions and options we could do for the future of arenas to kind of save that waste of time that some people do by hopping in there when they could be doing something better. But at the end of the day, I mean, you have to go in there. You have to get your free units. You have to collect whatever you can. You gotta get your gold. So, yeah, trying to find some sort of way where people can spend that time doing something else, but still get that arena progression that they currently go for.
Very nice. Yeah, I'm interested to see how 7 stars score in arenas.
Oh yeah.
Will there be boost 7-star boost for arenas?
Probably. There probably will. The 7-star side to arenas is one that we're still talking about and figuring out right there. Because they're going to be a next step up. I mean, the jump from 5 stars to 6-star points in arenas is pretty huge. So this would, I would assume, also be just as huge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who would you want your first 7-star champion to be?
Ooh. Well, I think my favorite champion by far is Joe Fixit. So I would want my first 7-star champion, of course, to be Joe Fixit.
Very nice.
It's very easy. I actually got cleared to say that in the first launch batch of 7 stars, he's one of the first ones.
Oh.
So get hyped.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Imagine that bleed damage with a 7-star. Ooh, it's gonna be juicy.
Sheesh.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's awesome, man. He was a character you liked before he got a buff. So now for his character to be such a really live up to his comic and in place in the game is sweet.
Yeah, I remember there was like this one Friday night at the office, and we'd have these meetings where they would show off new character animations of characters we have coming out. And the moment I saw Joe Fixit Special 3, I was like, I need that character. That's it. He's my favorite character. We were all talking about, like, how did Marvel let us do this? Because it seemed just so brutal at the time to have in a mobile game of him just jumping on you and beating you up, essentially from a first-person POV.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I've wanted him ever since. I finally got the 6-star, like, I think 6 months ago or so, and I'm sitting here waiting and hoping that I roll a rank 5 gem just for him.
Oh, fingers crossed.
Yeah. So you got the next one over there, Jay?
Okay, so I'm gonna read some chat. If you can't answer it, it is what it is. How many champs are gonna be in the first batch of 7-star pool?
Ooh. I have the list right in front of me. I'm trying to think if I can say this.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say over 30.
Oh, nice. That's a good pool.
It's a pretty good amount.
Yeah, I like that.
Very nice.
I'm just there's a lot. He's saying will the chance be like Herc, Ghost, Kitty, like overpowered chance? It's not going to be like you kind of mentioned like Herc. You kind of don't want that overpowered champ as a 7-star. I'm curious on it if how is the pool going to be pretty balanced?
I believe it is. We've worked pretty hard to make sure that like the first 7-star you pull isn't just going to be, oh great, well, that's someone I'm just never going to use.
Yeah.
Like I remember my first 6-star I pulled was Nebula, and I had never really used Nebula before, and then she was actually really good at the time. She still is. She's still great with the right synergies. But yeah, no, I used her a ton after that, and I never would have if she didn't just happen to become my highest star level. So we're trying to get that same kind of thing where there's no pull that you're like, oh, this is terrible. But at the same time, there's no pull where you think, okay, well, I'm done. Like, you're not going to be pulling a 7-star Quake or anything like that right away and go, all right, well, I guess I'm done with this.
That's funny.
So with 7 stars being introduced, will we be able to pull a 6-star Quake or a 6-star Magic?
It's a good question that I cannot answer right now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I expected as much with those two.
I mean, I don't know if you've used 5-star Quake recently or 5-star Magic, but they're still nuts.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's why. I mean, I don't know. I don't have Magic as rank 5, but I do have Quake. I haven't used her in a long time though. Haven't needed to.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I rank 5 Quake. I haven't used her in a while, but I have both those characters rank 5, and they'd just be so broken if they got to the next rank of star level, man.
I started doing my free to play run, and the first 3-star I pulled was Magic, and I forgot how good Magic was until that moment because I just haven't used her in so long, and she's just stomping through, keeping everyone power locked.
Yeah, so good for war and battleground. Sometimes it's sweet.
100%.
Oh, thank you for the
Yeah.
raid, Mr. King. Appreciate it.
So when did you start? Or hold up, nope, wrong question. If you could buff one character, who would it be?
I just keep saying Joe Fixit and just keep buffing him. I'd probably go OG Iron Man. OG Iron Man needs some love. I mean, there's a lot you could do with an OG Iron Man.
Oh man, I was looking. His suit is actually based off the MCU from the Avengers movie, and I would love for him to feel like that MCU version of the character. Like I'm really curious because he's got those basic animations, right? Like we've seen some 2014-15 champs get updated, so I would love to see him just really be more Iron Man than he is. Same with Superior. So I'm looking forward to it when he does get buff, if he does, hopefully.
Yeah, I'd love to see him from like first Avengers level buff, where like if you do energy damage to him, it just powers him up even more, and he's just stomping through you. You get the like plus 300% power thing, and then you just keep going.
That would be sweet.
Yeah, you've got that scene with Thor and Iron Man. He's just charging him up with the lightning instead of doing any damage.
That's the one. Yeah, imagine you just get hit by Storm, you just tank it, and you're just insanely powerful from that point onwards in the fight.
Right.
You know what I really need to hear is the repulsor blast from the MCU, just like almost Howard the Duck levels of loud.
Just terrifyingly powerful.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'll go on the next one. You already mentioned your favorite champion when you started playing MCOC. What's your progress in the game?
Oh, Paragon, don't you worry. I think I got Paragon day one. Like my goal is always whatever the top is, I have to hit that as fast as possible.
Nice. Okay, so if you do that, do you read the story since you do it so fast?
Somewhat. I skip through a lot of it on at least first complete, and then normally I'll read it on my second or third time through. I know some of what's going on, I would say.
Okay, cool. I got a lot of people in the chat. Fingers crossed for Captain Britain, Storm Pyramid X, and the 7-star pool. We'll see.
We'll see.
All right.
Okay, so go ahead.
You go. I'm sorry.
Who's your favorite buff champion this year?
Ooh, I mean, Rocket's the first one that comes to mind because Rocket. I'm just so glad to see the return of Rocket being dope. Is the Hulk one out yet? Hulk one's really good. I tried that one in the playtest. That one's really fun.
Yeah, still in beta.
I think it comes out next month.
Okay, yeah. Hulk one's cool. There's a couple more coming. I'm trying to think. Make sure that the ones I say are ones that are out already.
Iceman.
So Iceman and Spider-Man,
Yeah.
I believe.
And then they just announced that Shuri and Atuma will get some value buffs, so it's pretty neat.
Okay, yeah. No, so in that case, yeah. Rocket, Hulk. I guess Gore if you count Gore, because Gore got some level of couple changes.
Yep.
He's pretty nice now too.
All right.
There's some coming later on that I'm pretty hyped about. Early playtests were very fun to the point where it was, please change this. There's some cool ones coming.
Awesome. I'm really excited. Colin says, if I had can I get a red Cyclops? Can I trade him for Joe Fixit?
I asked myself that every time I pulled anything that wasn't him.
So are you participating in Battlegrounds at all?
I am. I haven't played too much this season. I played a lot more last season. But yeah, this season I haven't played too much because I've just been trying to focus on the free-to-play account and seeing where I can build this one into.
Okay. So who have been some of your top bans or top attackers and defenders?
I mean, it's still the usual bans. I think this meta is pretty open, so there's nothing really too special that I'm doing differently, I think, compared to even last season. Like I still ban Penny every single time because I just hate fighting against her.
Absolutely.
I'll ban Crossbones and Mole Man just because I don't use them in my deck and they're super strong. So I just want to make sure that they're knocked out of there. What was it? Karate Mike just posted a video about Mojo. Mojo's pretty nuts. So I was trying Mojo recently and he's insane. Kitty and Omega on defense, I guess. Joe Fix It, because no matter what the meta is, he's going on my defense.
Love it.
Very nice. Go ahead, Jay. You got the next one?
Yeah, so you mentioned Karate Mike, and you've been around for pretty much since the beginning. What are some of your favorite content creators?
Oh, there's lots. I try and watch as much as I can at all times. Whenever I'm working, I have one screen going with someone at various times. Lefty's always up there. Simula I like a lot. Karate Mike's got good videos. Legacy, of course, like all the usual suspects that I'm sure everyone's seen their videos at some point. What was the other one I was watching recently? I can't remember the name. It was a smaller creator who had some really good Act 8 counter videos. I can't remember who it was. I have them saved somewhere on my YouTube, but I was watching them recently, and there was some really good stuff in there.
Nice. Yeah, there's so many creators out there. I always try to ask, like, who would you put a spotlight on? Because I always like looking at the smaller creators and what they're planning. Got someone chat like Grass MCOC, who said Gore's buff is simply the greatest. He's pretty awesome. We had him on earlier.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many creators right now too, and like there's always a new one that gets shared out internally where someone's like, "Oh, have you seen this person yet?" No, I haven't. One guy I work with, he loves Big Kid Scotty. He will every time there's a Big Kid Scotty video, he loses his mind and he makes sure everyone has to watch this. He'll book a meeting and be like, "Sit down, you're watching this right now."
The memes are so good.
They're too good.
Yeah, absolutely. So who did you vote for Summoner's Choice?
Ooh, I mean, I was going for Bullseye. I still really want Bullseye. There's not enough card throwers, but then by the end I went White Tiger, which that was a rough beat. That 50.5% hurt a little bit.
Oh man, I know.
Yeah.
I ran over when the Twitch stream was happening and I was standing outside of it. I just kept yelling for a recount, and they're like, "It's digital. Like it just tells us the number. There's no such thing as a recount."
Restart the vote. Restart the vote. Are you excited for the winner for Gladiator coming?
I mean, we're 2 for 2, right? I think the two that we put out have ended up being insanely powerful. I wasn't expecting Hercules to be as good as he was. Quicksilver, I mean, it's hard to do Quicksilver right, I feel like, in a lot of games, and I feel we did him justice. So I'm excited. I think we'll go 3 for 3. We'll see how it goes.
Sweet. And we've seen some losers show up here and there, so there's always a chance for White Tiger, hopefully.
Oh yeah, I mean, just because someone lost doesn't mean they aren't going to make it in. Like, look at Omega Sentinel. He made it in a little bit after too, so
yeah, exactly.
There's still quite a few.
All right, if you
so go ahead, Jay. Sorry.
You can go actually.
I was gonna say, so out of the champions that were not in the wild card, like the champions that have already been in the choice, who would you like to see come through?
Ones that were in the vote but did not make it through.
Right.
Oh, let me pull up who the vote was.
Oh,
I just saw Bullseye and focus on him at that point.
I know you're talking about the one with like blue marvels.
Like there's Beta Ray Bill. There's
you're talking about everyone. Okay.
Blue Marvel, Ishala. Yeah, like I'm talking about like all 3 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's.
Okay. All 3 years. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of them that are coming soon too. Beta Ray Bill, I got really hyped about, and I really wanted to see him. I mean, we look at the ones that people were voting for. We look at the ones that we really wanted to do for years. That didn't happen to make it through, and then start trying to plan what's going on in the future. But yeah, Beta Ray Bill. I always wanted Beta Ray Bill. I don't know why I want him so much. we have so many Thors already, but I want more Thors.
Can never have enough.
Throg Thor. Give me Throg. I'll be happy with Throg.
both Throg.
I'm always happy with Beta Ray.
Absolutely. Throg and Beta Ray Bill were both in MROC. They were supposed to be in a cutscene that never got shared because the game had ended. But I was like, if they're in the battle realm somewhere, that means they can always come to the game.
Both also created by Walter Simonson.
Ooh, good to know.
Yeah. What else? Shoot. You got another one, Jay?
Yeah, I was gonna go say, is there something you bring back from the vault to the game that you really enjoyed?
Yeah.
What do you consider the vault? Just anything that we had as temp content that went away?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. I mean, I'm gonna go with Maze.
Yeah.
I still want Maze to come back. I just want it to come back exactly as it was to try with my current roster and see if I'm able to stomp through it now that I couldn't do last time.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah, it was rough then. I mean, now I'm sure seeing that I need to pull up a video of that and see what the power levels were because I'm sure they aren't even close to what we're seeing in like Act 7, Act 8. At the time, it was insane. Now, maybe not.
I got people in the chat saying more Spider-Man.
There can never be enough Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Jinx.
There's still more classes to go, right? We haven't hit all the classes
yet. Mutant Spider-Man.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying. Man Spider, gotta get it done.
I want Spiders Man. The one that's just a bunch of spiders.
Yeah.
In the outfit.
Yes, Spiders Man. That would be cool.
Hilariously, he was mentioned in the dialogue of the game, so he's somewhere out there in the battle realm.
He exists. He's there with Chair, just hanging out.
Yeah.
So, what could you tell us about being a streamer?
It's tiring, I will say. I was surprised at just like how tired you are after streaming for a little bit. But yeah, no, I do it mainly every year just to do Extra Life. So it's the 24-hour streaming for charity, and for the most part, each time I'm streaming is raising money for some kind of charity. I don't really do it too much other than that, but it's fun. I enjoy it. It's always really exciting showing just how bad I am at video games at the same time, which is always cool. But it's fun.
Very nice. Do you want to follow up to that, Jay?
Yeah, so can you tell us about you were in Katie Candy's Apex Legends tournament. How was that?
That's something that me and Katie have been trying to do for a long time. So Katie, Alpha06, and I got together and said, okay, it's finally time. Apex Legends finally added custom private lobbies that anyone can create. So we tried to recruit a bunch of people in, got many people as we could together for the tournament, raised a good amount of money. I think we ended up raising just over 730 US, which is pretty great for the ACLU. And I came in second place, so
Woohoo.
Did not come in last, which I'm happy about.
Yeah, man. I
Congratulations.
I thought you were gonna be enemy number 1, and you're just gonna get wiped off. So that's nice that you got second place. Because
we thought the same too, and then it worked out because every single time we'd look at the leaderboard or look at anyone who's fighting, we would just see like Kabam Jax lose right away. We're like, cool, they thought it was us. We're good.
Oh, poor Jax.
Yeah. So, is there anything else you want to talk about with your Twitch or streaming?
I mean, in what way? Do a little promo.
I mean,
Yeah, exactly. When's
Yeah.
the next one?
I'm not sure, honestly. I should try and make a regular schedule at this point. But yeah, twitch.tv/YOLO Jacket, just like Yellow Jacket, but throw YOLO in there. Play mostly shooters. Apex Hunt. I bought a bunch of things to try and stream contest, and then none of them worked, and I need to figure out how to get this thing going. But I bought like so many adapters that I had this web of like a USB-C to another adapter to another adapter to another adapter. Nothing worked.
I just use an Elgato with like HDMI to USB-C for the lightning cable, and that works. So maybe
Okay.
It's a simple adapter, but you got to have a capture card.
Yeah, I'll try that one out. I'll message you outside of this.
Sweet. I look forward
Help me
to
out. I'm terrible.
it. It took a lot of googling, so you'll figure it out. All right, so I don't know if Exen has seen it, but have you seen Quantumania?
I have.
Ooh, okay. What about
I
Exen?
haven't.
Ah,
I haven't got to see it yet.
okay. Yeah, it's
I've only
pretty
seen
good.
it this week. So.
Nice. Okay. Well, what'd you think of the movie? No spoilers.
Without spoilers, I think that was my favorite one since Endgame. Like, that's my favorite one of the last all through phase 4, and this is the start of phase 5. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
out of the entire phase 4 into this is my favorite one by far. I don't know what it was. Something about it, like not even the comedy, but just Kang. Kang takes over that entire movie. I could watch 43 hours of Jonathan Majors talking. It's so hype.
Oh, me too. I loved him. It's so great to get him to have this whole phase basically to himself.
Yeah, I think he can do it. I mean, without any spoilers, that post-credit scene.
Absolutely. I'm so hyped. So hyped.
Yeah. I left the theater and was immediately looking for tickets to see if I could see it again, which I haven't done in a while. I haven't done that since Endgame, I think, actually.
Nice. Jay Will says Kang is the GOAT. Absolutely.
It's true. That's true.
All right, what are you most excited for in the game for the future of MCOC?
I mean, I would say 7 stars. Like, I've kind of hit the point that a lot of people's also hit with their 6 stars, where I'm for the most part near in the end, right? I got one rank 5, but for the most part, I'm just fleshing out my rank 4s. I got all the characters collected that I could possibly ever want. I miss collecting. I miss opening a crystal, seeing something new, and getting hyped about it. I'd say 7 stars is honestly one of the big ones. Relics as well. I mean, we got a few more cool batches of relics coming out. The Valkyrie relic from a little while ago, that one's actually nuts. So I'm really excited to see the future of relics and keep building those up and try and see the changes in gameplay.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. I know the Battlecasts are great, but I'm really excited to see what are the alternatives. Like, Battlecast is just one type of relic. What are the other types? And get into that, because when we got the cutscene, it really excited me. Like, what are we getting from the collector's vault? And so I'm curious on. I'm excited to expand the Battlecast and then expand on what's on the other side.
Yeah, right now relics are so tied to actually having that extra ability, like the extra being able to send somebody out during the fight.
Mm-hmm.
But in theory, I mean, relics could be anything, right? Like, they don't
Yeah.
need to have someone that comes out and does a special or does a little combo in the middle of the fight. It could be anything different.
Excellent. He just wants Stormbreaker.
That's fair. Oh yeah, anything that's like not just characters, being able to kind of reach into the lore of Marvel is where I think this could get cool. Like, people that we couldn't do a full character for, but that we can throw in as their own little Battlecast relic or some form of relic that they're able to help out with.
Lockjaw, just saying.
I mean, he's there. We have the model. The
yeah,
model's in there.
exactly.
Someone, I think, bound him to like Captain America's movesets once, just to show how weird it was of him standing up, running around.
Any date for the relics that aren't Battlecast? Yeah, I just asked that.
No, not currently.
Yeah.
So right now, they're trying to do new batches about once every 2 to 3 months. So we're seeing if we can keep up the current cadence, or if we need to start doing some shifts and trying to change things, do things a little bit differently. But
Nice.
right now, I mean, the last couple batches have been separated by a couple months, so hopefully we're able to stick to the same kind of cadence. I don't want to speak too much for the balance team, because trying to balance a relic against the 200 plus champions, each one with different buffs, different debuffs, it gets into a whole maze of work. So hopefully we're able to keep that same cadence. I want to just keep getting more and more relics and collecting them and throwing them on everyone I have.
Yeah. I saw there's some of the game files still not released yet, so I'm excited for those when it catches up to getting those playable.
Yeah, there's quite a few coming. Are there any relics that you're using that you're really hyped about and you don't think anyone's really figured out quite yet?
Personally, no. I just haven't had time to really dive in. I got the 3-star Valkyrie relic, so
Okay.
I need to test that out, because I've been hearing praise from it. So, and you adding on to that just makes me want to use it.
The Valkyrie one's great. I really like the Ant-Man one. I mean, like, it kind of makes sense just putting the Ant-Man one on someone with power stings, but that one on Spider-Ham turns him absolutely insane.
Yeah, I do have him on Spider-Ham.
Good call.
All right. If there's any chat, if you guys want to send some questions right now, let's hear them. But before people send that in, I want to ask you: is there anything you can reveal? Do you have the call to say, "Hey, I got the green light to say this"?
There's one thing that I'm able to confirm. We're working on the next level above Abyss right now, so the next of Legends quest. It's super hard. It's insane. It's absolutely mental. The designer that's doing it is the guy who did the Eternity of Pain. So if you like Eternity of Pain and you like the absolute difficulty of those things, he's working on the next Legends quest right now, and it's going to be nuts. I can't say when it's coming out. I can't give anything other than that, but I am confirming that it's coming.
Wow, MSD, his light bulb just went off. That's awesome. I'm really excited. People have been asking for that, so that's great to hear. It's on the way.
I mean, a lot of us have been asking for it here too. It was like it's such a big piece of content to make too. Like the first Abyss, I think, took a year and a half or so. So it was about 18 months of nonstop work of figuring out every single individual fight, how they're going to work into path, making sure every single path is possible with different teams at the time. So it's a huge undertaking to do. I wish we could pump those things out like once every 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, that'd be a lot.
If only.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot, not for MSD, but it'd be a lot. For...
He just needs his 2 stars. He's got it.
Give him a 2-star She-Hulk. He's set.
Yeah. Okay, so let's answer some stuff. Oh yeah, we got some relics first. Hulk relic on anti-venom. That's a good one.
Ooh.
What is one type? Yeah, it's a good one. I had to switch mine to him, and I'm like, I like that. I think Ankatron told me to do it. So, okay, what is one type of content that you haven't seen yet from any content creators, or at least some period of time that you like to see?
That's a really good question. I mean, you see so many low star level champions fighting higher star level. You see a lot of kind of breakdowns of different characters. I haven't seen a lot of like unique, special, new Synergy God tier teams, because there are some secret God tier teams if you pair up the right 3 that I haven't really seen anyone make certain videos about just yet. But there's some pretty crazy combos that I feel like aren't covered as much as they probably should be or could be.
So like you're saying like a Lost Trinity, it's just like Synergy that no one really knows about.
Little hidden trinities. There's a couple of them out there that I don't think I've seen anyone do videos about. There's one that Kabam John messaged us about recently and said, hey, if you're not using this set, try it out. But I want to see if anyone actually figures it out on their own.
Okay.
We're still waiting to see if anyone spots this new one, but it's pretty nuts.
Sweet. I'm looking forward to it. With that on the way, are the rewards going to be worth it for that new of Legends?
I would assume so. I mean, look at how the Abyss rewards were at the time, right? It was, I think, almost everybody's first rank 3. So I would think that this would be somewhere similar. With that said, we're still figuring out the quest. We're still figuring out the difficulty. So
yeah,
figuring out rewards comes a lot later. If we figured out rewards now and it doesn't come out for a long period of time, then those rewards are going to be pretty outdated.
That's good you're thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, the rewards would be worth it.
Sweet.
Easily.
Are there any plans for solo modes like incursions or IQ? People to attain catalysts. Lots of us don't have time to be in an alliance.
Yeah, actually, that's something that me as a player has been doing quite a bit. Like I left my alliance a little while ago just because I didn't really have as much time to participate in AW and AQ. And there is a lot of conversations about the solo player and what solo players should be doing, or the differences of having a solo player versus someone in a casual alliance versus someone in a hardcore alliance. So solo incursions was the first kind of step towards that, of having that pathway that someone could just play on their own whenever they want, as much as they want, and be able to collect some juicy rewards for it. We're definitely going to be taking an effort and focusing in on solo players and seeing what we can do for them over this year.
Nice. I'm in a casual alliance, but when I wasn't, I definitely felt that disconnect from getting stuff. So I like that. That's definitely being worked on.
Yeah, the switch from a hardcore alliance to a casual, you feel hard. The switch from a hardcore alliance to no alliance, you feel even harder. There's just that weird shift of, oh wait, I don't get just a tier 3 class, and then suddenly you're out of tier 3 classes and you're trying to figure out why. That's because you just haven't been participating in simple alliance events that were collecting these little milestones for you without even noticing.
Okay. Okay, so when do we get another... Oh, okay, cool. This is a cool question. All right, when do we get another choose your side event? Like, do you remember in Civil War where we could choose our side between Team Iron Man or Team Cap?
I missed that event. That event was huge. That was before we were really doing like monthly level events, and that was the first big one where I think that was like a 2 or 3 month long thing. We've talked about it. Shovel Dad, who you've had on here before,
Yeah.
he's the one that runs all of the event side. I'll make sure to chat with him on Monday and say that there's some questions about this.
Yeah, there's some cool.
Yeah, they always. Go ahead, Jay. Sorry.
I was gonna say that there's some cool, like repercussions for your actions kind of thing where you can kind of choose your narrative. So that's what I'm interested to see on how that works.
Yeah, I remember we were fiddling around recently and found that you could make an entire choose your own adventure like story using our current tech, just doing like weird messages, kind of like how you had was it Platinum Pool? It was one of the pools where you had to figure out his code by hitting the right numbers and hitting the right keys.
Oh yeah.
Using systems like that, we're able to kind of build choose your own adventure things. We were experimenting with that one for a little while. But being able to link that to picking a side and then kind of extending your story separately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it'd be really cool. It'd be fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say the event had Sorcerer Supreme and Storm Pyramid X was a lot like that. You could flip back and forth even.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty fun.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
MRock, yeah, choosing your house.
Yeah,
yeah.
That was a fun event. Is there any like side quest or EQ that you would like to bring back?
I mean, I would say Rocket Scrapyard if we hadn't just brought back Rocket Scrapyard. No, there was that Odin one. When Odin came out, we had that. I think there was like 10 level, 10 tiers of difficulty thing. I want to see something like that again. Some kind of like big challenge that combined with like MODOK's Lab, for example, where you have that, but you have randomized buffs or some form of randomized buffs. I think MODOK's Lab is like probably one of the most polarizing events we've ever done or we ever have had come back. Where some people love it, some people hate it, and a lot of it's RNG. But there's ways that I want us to kind of explore of making it so it's not like you can't just get hard gated and hard walled by some sort of certain node that you don't have the reroll for. I think there's some kind of win in there that we need to explore and try and figure out.
Sweet, because that happened to me the last time it came around. I struggled with it. So
same here. I think it was like third fight, and I got completely wiped and realized that I was just hard blocked and I didn't have the RPG counter for it.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see those characters that we don't really see too often. The MODOK like mashup champions and the ones that he found that were basically the trash of the collector. He's like, these champions are never coming to my contest.
Well, the moment I saw Juggernaut do an Ant-Man special, I remember losing it. Just a little tiny Juggernaut running so fast.
I love that they mentioned it too in the dialogue of this month. That was hilarious.
Yeah, I'm really liking the whole quarter of Mojo right now, where Mojo's just taking over and doing his own thing. Those Mojo profile pics still scare me. Every time I see them, it just terrifies me.
The Baron Zemo one is just
The Zemo ones. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
No. My brother has it as his profile pic, and we're in the same alliance, so I see it every day. I hate it.
Or the moment those came out, and like I saw people complaining, "Oh, these are disgusting. These are gross," but they were complaining in global chat while they had it attached to them.
That's pretty funny. All right. Let's answer some questions. Will we get trophy relics, like trophy champs, but in the form of relics?
Possibly.
Yeah, I do know that in the files there's a what is it? A Thanos one. So he obviously being a trophy champ is interesting. That I'm curious on how that'll be playing once he's out.
Yeah, I mean, the way relics are, it doesn't have to be a character that's in game, or it doesn't have to be a character that's playable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it could, in theory, be anything. It could be a trophy. It could just be something that you attach to somebody to just kind of flex and show off with no gameplay benefit, for all we know. So I wouldn't say it's out of the question or not going to happen, but we'll see.
Okay, so Colin says, what about bringing content creator boss rushes? Can we get a 7-star Iceman and Rope boss? If you know, you know.
Yeah, I think we need to bring one of those back. It's been a little while since we've had a good champion challenge or a good boss rush.
Yeah,
it's time.
And celebrity challenges too. I know I saw it was talked about not too long ago. not really having the. I think it was Mike and Jax on the forums talking about it, how they didn't get it for this month for Quantum Mania, but hopefully in the future you guys can get an actor or someone on the MCU side and have them connect to the game to get us a celebrity challenge. It'd be sweet.
I hope so too. I think the first one we did was the Daisy Johnson one with Quake. I think that was one of the first.
That was very early.
It's a big combo. It's a lot of big partnerships in order to get that going. Our marketing team works hard and trying to link those things up. At the end of the day, I mean, if we can't get a celebrity tied to it, I just want to see some kind of champion challenge. I would love to have one of those back. They're just fun to play.
Yeah, you can make new titles.
Oh, more titles. Cream of the crop too.
Yeah. All right. Regular Nexus certain year crystal. Will that be possible in the future?
Like a Nexus of the current year ones that you're seeing?
I think so. Game? Yeah, I think so.
It's possible. It's something that we could do. I think the big shift that we're going to see is probably more Nexuses in the future. Like Nexus kind of took the place of like other ideas that we were exploring for kind of pick your own crystals or setting up your own crystals. So Nexus kind of took that spot, and things moved more and more into seeing more Nexus in game or having more availability of getting Nexuses. I think with 7 stars coming out in the future, then you'll see probably more Nexuses.
I was gonna say, you mean the wish crystal?
Oh, the wish crystal. At the time, wish crystal was a super exciting, cool thing. I think now we've kind of progressed farther where Nexus crystals weren't a thing when we first started talking about wish, or we're just like first coming into the game. Now Nexuses are everywhere to the point that I'm finding Nexuses pretty common. Like I see those so frequently, I'm wondering what's the next step up, but it's not like I'm really chasing anything specific.
Saying, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Pinhead just asked about the wish crystals. I get asked that all the time. It's like, where are the wish crystals? I'm like, yeah, Nexus.
Yeah. Wish crystals was something that we first started talking about and wanted to do, and then we kind of shifted more towards Nexus and more towards just getting Nexuses more into more areas, getting the Abyss Nexus, the pick your class and then pick one of 10. For the Valentine's thing we just had, we had the pick 2 out of 5, so we're trying to explore with different Nexus amounts of selections. So I would say lean more towards Nexus. You'll be seeing a lot more Nexus than you would be the Wish Crystal anytime soon.
Yeah, which is nice, I think.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, there's some cool stuff we can still do with Nexus that we haven't quite tried yet. Like the 2 out of 5 was one that we just did where like I wonder if we could do a 10 out of 20, a 20 out of 30. Like are there kind of like weird things like that we could explore?
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Where you pick a Nexus, but you're picking 2, and one of them is a character, one of them is another Nexus, so then you get to spin it again. Like there's weird things that I want to try out and see if they actually work. Very gotcha.
Yeah, it's like, oh, here, pick an Inhumans team, pick an X-Men team. Just get the whole team.
I mean, maybe.
What was with the Mojo picture? Oh yeah, right. Because I remember correctly, because Mojo won by the end anyways. But if you missed out on the profile pics, you've totally missed out on those, right? If you didn't choose one.
Yeah. If you missed out on one of the choices, then you missed out on that one.
Yeah, I didn't notice that the first go. I was like, all right, I'll just pick my gut feeling. Clicked it. Next week, I was like, because I'll get the next one the next week, and they were eliminated, and I'm like, oh. And now Mojo wins anyway, so just don't pick him to last.
That's a good point. I'll see if there's something we can do there.
Yeah.
Because I definitely didn't pick the ones that were getting knocked out right away. Yeah, Mojo always wins. I mean, if Mojo's organizing a competition, just expect that it's going to be rigged.
Exactly. Mojo Summoner's Choice was his Summoner's Choice where he just won no matter what.
He's the only one with the romance energy for himself, so it adds up.
So you've mentioned 6 or 7 stars will be coming in soon. Can we be told how much they're going to cost?
Not just yet.
Okay.
You mean the price in game doesn't seem like the right amount of shards? Like that seems like.
I don't know. Not that I know of.
The 9 million
I haven't
or whatever
seen
it is.
in a while.
Yeah, the 999. That's not normal.
Yeah.
What's the actual price, guys? I don't know
I mean-
what to tell you.
Oh, okay. I got you. Cool. I'll just have to save up.
I'm nowhere close.
I think it was DNA that did the math on it to see if it was even possible to hit
Yeah.
that number. If you just, for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, open crystals from now until then to gain shards, and it wasn't possible. I think it took like a few years in order to get that to happen or something.
That's hilarious. Okay, well, I have a cool one. So, Jay will ask, I'm sure you know who I am, but if you don't, I'm a huge BG's player and competitor. That being said, Kabam, do they have an official tournament they are planning for Summoners?
I will lean more towards Mike and Jax for that one. I've heard rumors of things in the past, but I'm not sure what the status is of those, or if they're still moving forward, or if they're taking a different form. I know it's been talked about, especially with as soon as we added friendly matches. That was one of the first things we started talking about. Because when we did the Summoner Showdown, we effectively used Battlegrounds friendly matches without friendly match tech to try and force people together. So as soon as friendly matches became a thing, then tournaments became possible. But I'm not sure what they have in the plans or in the works currently.
Yeah, we had Jax on the podcast at the end of last year, and he kind of said the same thing. That it's, we're not saying yes, we're not saying no, but we're looking into it. So hopefully there is something sweet. We also have a Summoner Showdown that always happens, so who knows what could happen this year.
Yeah, I mean, anything's possible, right?
Absolutely. Well, all right. If there's any more questions, I guess we can end it here pretty soon.
Hello, do you have anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
I mean, keep opening crystals. There's some good offers that pop up in game every single day, and I wouldn't be someone from Live Ops if I didn't say check them out. No, honestly, nothing really. I'm excited for 7 stars. They're coming. Get hyped. I'm hyped. I'm excited for some of the new characters we have coming out this year. I'm excited for the Summoner's Choice. I'm excited for a lot of stuff that we have coming. The new Legends quest. Like, there's so much that we have in the works right now that I am extremely hyped about. Not just as someone who works at Kabam, but as a player of the game.
Very nice. I can't wait. Jay, you got anything else over there?
No, man. I'm glad to hear you're excited for new champions. Should hopefully get an announcement pretty soon, so that'll be exciting for my birth month in March. Turn 21 next month, so it should be fun.
Yeah, I'm always keeping an eye on all the picks that you have and seeing what you have listed, and then comparing it to our list, and just wondering how it's possible, wondering how you're so close some of these times.
I wonder if you guys change it when you see my list.
See your list and immediately, okay, we have to cancel the entire year. I don't know how he did it, but he got the whole year. We have to cancel everything. Switch it all.
I can only wish. Any time frame for the BGs being during off season, like AW is kind of?
I am not sure on that one, to be honest.
Yeah, that'd be cool though.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I want, if there is a BG off season, like I want to be able to still keep playing and still keep doing something. Right now, when they're off, and then I find that's immediately the time that I want to play BGs the most, is when they happen to not be there.
Yeah, totally.
All right. If you don't have anything else over there, Jay, I'm gonna say thank you to Kabam Yolo once again for joining us on a Saturday evening and taking time out of his day. And thanks, Jay, for streaming us live on YouTube. And yeah. You guys want to say have a good night?
Yeah, have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night. Thanks for having me, guys.
Of course.
All right. See you guys later,